What's going on, everybody? I wanted to make a video here, just go over a few things, suggestions, my opinions, to help other agents out, other players out, you know, as a basic foundation, a rule of thumb, if you will, that I strive for in all my builds. And I highly recommend, if I have people ask me for advice, this is what I tell them. You know, my opinion, again, this video is going to be my opinion on everything. You know, take it with a grain of salt. It's just advice. It's foundation. Again, you know, when it boils down to, it's all your playing style. But again, this is what I like. This is what I recommend people to start out with. You want your four corner pieces, which would be your chest piece, your knee pads, your holster, and your backpack, all to be rolled for armor. As far as, you know, your attributes here. Your chest piece, you want to have health and armor on it, in my opinion. And as far as your minor attribute, ammo capacity, because it's so hard nowadays to have the right amount of ammo. You can't do the little glitch anymore, so you want to have ammo capacity. You know, again, chest piece, health and armor, my opinion. Your knee pads, obviously, again, you want rolled for armor. You know, your holster, again, rolled for armor, and your backpack, again, rolled for armor. Now, to go a little bit more detail about what I have here, you know, in my opinion, you want to have health and armor, ammo capacity on your chest piece. You know, from there, you know, I got my mask here, let's go with. I highly recommend, as far as your minor attribute, your enemy armor damage. As far as the major, I went with health here. It was the best, best mask that I found at the moment. I'm kind of kicking around between health and crit. This specific build, I'm running health. As far as knee pads, again, I have armor as my main, major attribute, I should say. As far as minors, resistance are nice. I like this specific piece because it has enemy armor damage. Helps out, in my opinion, a lot. There is room, obviously, for improvement with this piece here. You know, my stamina, I can get up to 1272, but 1223 is not bad. Again, with armor and enemy armor damage, it's the best piece that I have available at the moment. Holster. You know, you look at this holster. Keep in mind, the stats max at 1272. So I got 1266, 1241, 1269, and armor. It's a pretty good holster. You know, to compare it, I guess I have this other holster right here. You know, to me, this is a two-roller. You know, I'd want to roll armor on it. But then, you know, with that, I have my my electronics is kind of low. So to me, this is the absolute best holster that I've found in some time now. Gloves. Now, as far as gloves, I always run Savage. Okay. Now with the Savage gloves, I always go for, as you can see, crit hit chance, crit hit damage. All right. At the moment, my primary gun that I use is my assault rifle. So therefore, I look for assault rifle damage, the bonus on that. This pair down here, same stuff, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and it's for SMG. You know, depending on how I want to mix it up. I don't use my SMG as much as I used to after the patch 1.5. They kind of nerfed them a little bit. So, you know, I stick to my assault rifle. And as far as my backpack, you know, I go with the Specialized because I don't pump that much into electronics. But I do rely on my electronics, mainly to heal myself. When I'm playing PvP, the only thing I rely on is to heal myself. That's why I also go with the self heals, the 6% self heals. Yeah, so, you know, again, I have armor rolled on it. As far as guns, LVOAC all the way. I love this gun. I'm obsessed with this gun. The rate of fire on this gun, the damage it does, it's ridiculous. Let's take a look at it. To me, again, my opinion, the VX1 scope. You can't find anything better, in my opinion, than this VX1 scope. As you can see, 18.5% headshot damage, a little bit of stability and crit hit damage. It's a beautiful VX scope. We go down to the extended mag that I have. I personally prefer the extended mags. Why? Because first off, you get the magazine size, 111.5. That's amazing. Crit hit damage, rate of fire, 5.9. Believe it or not, it does get higher than a 5.9. It's very hard to find. A friend of mine has one, it's a 6%. I've yet to see him. I can't get it. I know it does exist because you showed me pictures. I'm striving to find it, can't find it. I believe his is a power level 33, I believe. Trying to find it, can't find it. So I'll deal with it. This is the next best thing that I can find. It works well for me. So PvP, you want to pump as many rounds into your opponent as possible, as quickly as possible. Especially when you're face tanking. Which I tend to do a lot, unfortunately. When it gets down to it, you get frustrated. It's a standoff. Give and go, man. Line up, aim down sights, and just start pumping rounds. So that's what that boils down to. One thing I do want to say here is, as far as DPS, sure, I can raise my DPS, yada, 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 so on and so forth. You see a lot of videos with guys, oh, monster DPS build, 500 some DPS. Yeah, to me, and I've had this discussion with a lot of people, man, you have your on-paper DPS and actual DPS. And what it boils down to, again, is what works best for you. So I can inflate this DPS out the wazoo if I want to. It's not actual DPS. It doesn't work for me. My secondary weapon here is my MP5 ST. Again, I got the VX scope on it, the extended mag. This extended mag is a little bit less than the extended mag on my LVOAC. Why? Because again, my LVOAC is my primary weapon that I rely most on. So you can see the difference. As far as SMGs, I highly recommend the Tyrant Suppressor. A friend of mine turned me on to it. Makes sense. Look at it. You get your crit hit chance, your headshot damage, your stability. To me, it's just for SMGs, it's the best choice, the Tyrant Suppressors. So they're really the things, in my opinion, you really want to look for. The VX scope, the extended mag, and the Tyrant Suppressors. Speaking of suppressors, I just want to point this out right quick. Like I said, you have your on-paper DPS, so on and so forth. So as an example here, my compensator. I can change that out to this Omega rifle suppressor. Yes, it inflates my DPS. I personally prefer the stability. That's why I go with what I have. The 13.5 stability to me is a lot better. I want to make sure, you can inflate your DPS, but are you landing those shots? Are those bullets connecting? I can't stress that enough with people. Don't go by, oh, look, it's green, let me use it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's better. Cater to your play style. I cannot stress that enough, folks. So back to this LVOAC. One thing I want to point out are my talents. As you can see here, I have responsive, destructive, and intense. Now, I found this gun. I was like, it's not bad. The damage was pretty decent compared to my other LVOAC. I figured, you know what? Eventually, I'll roll intense off of it. Responsive, destructive. They're pretty good talents, especially since 1.5 came into play. And I was going to roll intense off as a freebie for something else. But I decided to give it a go. And I can't explain how happy I am I tried it. Reason being, when you're playing PvP, you're chasing rogues, for instance, Predator's Mark's a great thing. Why Predator's Marks? So when rogues are running, you can make them bleed and slow them down. It's a beautiful thing. But here's the thing with intense. As you see, the first bullet of the magazine has 25% chance to apply the on-fire status effect to the target. That will slow a rogue down dead in their tracks for the most part. And you might think, 25%. You know what? It happens a lot more than that, in my opinion. Sometimes not, don't get me wrong, but it does. So say if you're chasing a rogue, you pop a shot off, it doesn't set them on fire, reload real quick. Pop another shot off, and continue to do that until they catch on fire. Once they catch on fire, they're slowing down, and you can grab them. You can get them good. To touch base with that, one thing I do want to point out here is the talents. Now this actually works pretty cool. I wasn't sure if it would work, and I tested it and it does work. Wildfire. Applying burn to any target triggers a 30% chance per each target in a 10 meter radius. And it works, folks. It truly does. So if you have intense and then you have wildfire on as a talent in a group, you will, not always obviously 30% chance here of setting that group on fire. It works. It is amazing. When you see everybody trying to pat themselves down because they're on fire, I personally can't help but chuckle inside. It's an amazing talent. So yeah, so that's that. Again, I like using a pulse so I can know where my surroundings, what's around me, who's coming, who's close. Obviously, I use the scrambler more rogue because I don't want people to know where I'm at or if I'm coming or so on and so forth. I think that's pretty much self-explanatory. As far as a heal, I go back and forth between overdose and booster. Booster takes a little bit to get used to, you know, when you need to heal yourself. You know, overheal, again, I go back and forth, personal preference. It's all personal preference. One thing I do want to talk about real fast is the my armor mitigation. As you can see here, my armor mitigation is a 54.44%. Personally, I think that's pretty high. You know, you see a lot of, I was just watching a Banshee video, the guy's talking about this, that, and the other thing, and his armor mitigation wasn't even at, I think it was at about 50%, which is good, don't get me wrong. You know, I got pretty lucky with some of my mods, my rolls, and so on and so forth. So I was able to get 54.44%, as well as with my gear. You know, like I said, all four corner pieces have armor rolled on them. As you can see there, I have armor. I have armor on that. I'm obsessed with this holster here. I got very lucky with this holster. Again, armor. And backpack, again, I have armor on it. So yeah, folks, you know, I mean, that's pretty much everything I'm going to cover. You know, again, don't pay attention to the on-paper DPS, as I call it. You know, it's easy to inflate those numbers. It truly is, trust me. But do what works best for you. As far as suggestions, VX scope, extended mag. You know, I highly, highly recommend those. The Tyrant suppressor for an SMG. Yeah, so that's my Banshee build. And if I can see here, I'll try. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Perfect, beautiful, look at that. Targets ablaze, that's the intense, folks. That's what I wanted to show you. So there it is. You know, I hope you guys appreciate this video, my suggestions. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know, ask. You know, I know I'm not as big as some of the other names out there. I try. You know, I'm trying to get my videos out there. Subscribe, spread the word. If you want to see videos of other stuff, let me know. Any questions, I'll put out what I can. You guys ask, I'll try to fulfill that. And I intend on, in the very near future, getting videos up of my gameplay. You know, it's hard for me with everything going on, but I will get it up there, I promise. You know, I guess it's hard to take my word, oh, you know, do this, do that, do this, do that, not have any gameplay footage. I'm going to get it up there, folks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any questions, feel free to ask. I'm on PS4. If I can help you guys out, I'm on Reddit too. You know, I try to help out some other players on Reddit. Yeah, you need help, let me know. I'll try to do the best I can. All right, folks, take it easy. Thanks for watching.